All right. And I think that's good. Hello and welcome to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Ailwolf, otherwise known as Ales, gentleman streamer, the no throne cicerone, the excellence of an execution. And welcome back to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. How has everyone been? It's been a good week, I want to say. I think it's been nice. Lots of things got accomplished this week, I want to say. Nothing too ridiculous. We're almost through June. Almost done through the 8th of June, as they say. And yeah, moving on to July, which means it's time for fireworks, or at least illegal fireworks set by very inconsiderate people. Because as soon as they start going, every single one of my boys just runs away like a mad boy. So not a great time for corgis, unfortunately. But so it goes. Hopefully someday people learn. Let's see if there's any other housekeeping items here. No, not really. Today we're playing The Legend of Zelda once again for the Nintendo system. We're playing it on the Switch, which, you know, it's actually kind of nice to play old Nintendo games on the Switch simply because you've got suspend states, which is nice, but also the Switch Pro controller actually plays rather nicely, which is not something that I can say for N64 games, for instance. But we've gone through some of that pain before. We are in level 9 of the first quest. As you might recall, my goal here in this campaign is to finish both first and second quests. I have finished the first quest once very, very long ago as a child, and we're going to try and repeat that. Unfortunately, if anybody is familiar with level 9, it is a bit of a maze, and so I'm resorting to using a semi-map walkthrough here. But that's what we'll be doing tonight. Before we actually move on to that, let's go ahead and talk about what's on tap tonight. So, this is something that we've seen on the stream before. This is the Paulaner Munich Lager. And so, fans of the stream will remember Paulaner. Paulaner is actually one of the 6 main breweries, or 6 oldest breweries, 6 historical breweries of Munich, Germany. They are one of the 6 hosts of the yearly Oktoberfest event, of which I've only been lucky to attend once. And I did visit their tent, and definitely got a bit more than tipsy. Certainly bit off more than I could chew on that day, but I certainly wish that I could go back. What is a lager, you might ask? Well, a lager is not an ale, and you might be wondering, well, Ale Wolf or ales, why are you drinking a lager on and you call yourself the Ale Wolf? And to that I might say, well, I just thought it was a crafty name. What do you want from me? I'm not gonna just like limit myself to drinking ales. Lagers are beers too. They're one of the two main distinctions between beers, ales and lagers. The difference is that while ales are top fermenting, whoa, I almost threw my glass there. While ales are top fermenting, meaning that the yeast rises to the top, lagers are bottom fermenting and the yeast goes down to the bottom of the brew tank. The other main difference is that while ales ferment at a relatively room temperature to cool temperature, lagers specifically need very cold temperatures. So they're not as easy to brew whenever you are trying to brew them at home if you don't have the proper conditions, like a kegerator at least, which I do, but still I've never tried it myself. A little bit too difficult for my level of expertise. Now lagers are generally crisp. They are very light bodied. I want to say generally range a body of 1 out of 5. They're generally pretty translucent, transparent. They are, I want to say not necessarily golden, but a little bit more like orangish yellow. They are represented by the level of their hops. And of course, one of the more common lagers that you see everywhere are Pilsner lagers. Lagers are very similar to Pilsners. I think the main distinction is the types of hops that they use, but maybe that's something that we'll talk about some other time. I don't think I'm ready for that right now. Before we move on, and that's the second time I almost knocked into my glass, let's go ahead and see what Untappd has to say on the matter. And let's go to alternate intermission over here. And there he goes. So, Paulaner Original Munich Lager by Paulaner Brewery. A healthy 4.9% alcohol by volume, 0.1% away from a classic 5. Our Original Munich Lager is a true classic with its clear and bright gold sparkling hue, crowned by a pure white head. A beer which always goes down well, mild, elegant malts, with a hint of sweetness and a soft hint of hops in the background. This Munich beer is ideal to accompany spare ribs and spicy dishes. Just try it. That's interesting whenever a beer description actually suggests to you what you should be trying it with. I find that lagers and light beers actually go pretty well with a lot of things. Not so much with heavy beers, but that's just my thought. And welcome to the stream, Inigo. How are you doing? Favorite new streamer? Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. How are you doing tonight? But that is what Untappd has to say on the matter. Let's go ahead and taste this guy. Alright, and let me pour it on one of my classic steins. So again, not truly golden, more of a mellow yellow. Like that soft drink mellow yellow, of course. And one of the things, again, that effervesces to the top of the nose is simply the level of hops there. Lagers are not necessarily the hoppiest of beers. Like I said, that title in the terms of lagers is more deserving for Pilsners. But as you can see, it is pretty transparent. You can actually see right through it. I don't know that you can see my face through it, but it is pretty crisp. And then you got this nice layer of crisp bubbles there, very tiny bubbles. Again, a very light beer. Faganale beer. So the thing that hits you first on the tongue is the sweetness of the malts. It's actually quite becoming quite apparent there. Very light in terms of the hoppiness. It's actually more of a steely background flavor that is very consistent. It has a very nice mouthfeel. It actually, what I like to think, hugs the tongue. It's very close to it. It's not like that velvety, creamy taste that you get from heavier beers. and then the back is more of a slightly more bitter, lingering undertone towards the end. It's a very refreshing drink, very light. Again, something that I would have on a hot summer day. So, original Mulling Lager from Paulaner. Highly recommend this one. Let's see. And with that, let me just go ahead and update my ticker over here. Let's see. By the way, I bought the Street Fighter game. Wow, I was having so much fun for 2 days. Then I started getting competitive and I needed to put it down. I miss being in iron. Hey, I'm glad that the bug bit you. That game is a lot of fun. I love the system that they implemented there. The resource system is actually quite simple, but at the same time very complex. And so there goes my ticker. It's updated. In terms of a rating, I'm gonna give it a solid 3.5, which is something that I've rated it before. Beautiful, beautiful. But with that, let's get back to our game. And here's a question, and I go, who do you generally play as? I'm very interested to know that. Let's go to the game over here. And so the Legend of Zelda. Like I said, I'm playing with suspend points here. And last I was playing, I was in level 9, very much lost. And so actually that goes to the question of the night. When have you ever felt lost in a video game? I would say that playing this game, playing some of the levels definitely made me feel lost. And no doubt level 9 was one of the ones that did so the most. Okay, so I don't remember what I was doing here, but I'm sure it'll come to me. And of course we've got the Lion's Key, which means that we don't actually have to worry about whatever it is we have in terms of keys. And if you see me staring in this direction, it's because I'm staring at a map for the best route to accomplish all this. I think I'm going to head back, and then I really want to get like the map, the compass, and then the 2 main treasures here. I don't think I need to complete the rest of the map really. But if we keep going in this direction, we'll find the silver arrow. And while I want to do that, one thing that I don't want to do is try to go for it without the red ring, because I feel like it's simply going to end in tragedy, as with most of my endeavors. That's not true. Some of them end in victory, but only by luck. Let's see. Inigo says, I was watching your playback. I noticed you were in bronze, so I took it upon myself to surpass you. And I gotta admit, the way you maintain your cool in a game like Street Fighter 6 that gets exciting and competitive at times is remarkable. My hat's off to you. You're a different type of man. I appreciate the thought, Inigo. I will say that my calm and collectedness playing Street Fighter only comes after years of losing a number of times in all of the iterations of Street Fighter, so at this point it is second nature. But I'm glad that you set a standard for yourself. I have absolutely no doubt that in due time you will come to master the game. I think it was the case back when I was where am I? See, I'm all lost already. I think it was the case when I was a kid that when I used to play Street Fighter 2 with some of my family members, I really used to just get really heated and really frustrated, and yeah, I was not a good sport with it. But we can just actually move away. I'm going to step out of this level and get some more medicine, just because I don't think, like I said, I don't think we're gonna make it without some good medicine on us. And then maybe use the medicine to get the red ring, and once we have the red ring, we'll have a bit more endurance to dabble around in this place. But yeah, I'd like to know if you like the drive system with the drive impact and the drive rush and the drive parry. I think this is where I came from. Yeah, I think this might be it. Yeah, and I'll be playing Street Fighter 6 again this Friday if everything works out to plan. And I think after 4 sessions of playing it on stream, I think I'm gonna take a break from it. I might try something else. Maybe another fighting game, or maybe play some Monster Hunter, which we haven't played in a while. And this is the main stairway over here. Looks like we can actually just bomb here. Lamp oil, rope, bombs. It's so weird to play this game and not hear the classic do 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 every time you open a bombable door. In this game, it's almost as if it doesn't care that much that you accomplished this. Alright, we made it to the door. Thank goodness. Alright. I wanted to main Kimberly for her rush ability. Couldn't get down her playstyle in combos and tried all characters. I wanted to be a little different than picking the easy to pick up Ryu. And with Ken, I learned Ken well enough that I'm slowly climbing. But I don't want to take the game too seriously, because it's fun to lose to nerds when not trying to win. It's fun to see and learn different techniques. Yeah, I agree. You know, much like a lot of people, I feel like I used to play Ryu simply because it was just kind of the default person and easiest to master. Not necessarily, you know, easy to master. Sorry, easy to play with, hard to master. But not too much there, I want to say, in previous games. So I'll always play Ryu for a while to test the game's mechanics, but then I'll move on to someone else. These guys are so... Let's see, and then use them on the noobs. Of course, classy man, classy man. The drive system is amazing. I played Street Fighter 5 because it was free on PlayStation. What a downgrade. Yeah, Street Fighter 5 was not my favorite. I think in terms of Street Fighters that I've liked, there's been 2, of course. I know 3 is very technical, but it's not really my cup of tea. I really liked Alpha. I liked 4 a lot. I disliked 5. And I would like 6. Oh, nice. Oh, only 3 coins away. Imagine that. This place seems bombable. I could probably just look at the map and see if that's accurate, but I don't want to waste the time. No, of course not. But yeah, some of my friends play with Ken. They really like his style and how much he has differentiated himself from Ryu. Not being a Ken player myself, I don't know exactly how they are different. But at least whenever I've been playing against them, it certainly seems to me that it's almost like a different character. Nice. And I hate these things. You can't actually destroy them. I feel like one of these should move. Alright, maybe not. And I should really stop coming this way. And maybe this place is bombable? At least it seems like it. There we go. And that's the sound I was looking for. Yeah, I don't know. Do I have a map that tells me what the outcomes are? Because of course I need something like that. Let's see. Let's play a game of chance. No, that map doesn't really tell me anything. Alright. I find it funny with people who still play classic controls over modern. Either they are really good or I'm gonna overwhelm them by having a better button layout and using game sense to my advantage. So you mean that you are playing modern controls right now? If that's what I'm reading here. I actually play classic controls, but it's simply because that's what I'm used to. I have no issues with people using modern controls. Very cool, very cool. And the side boomerang. You know what, it's kind of, yeah, old habits definitely die hard, especially the bad ones. What was I gonna say? I think I find it, I actually remember that I was playing Street Fighter 6, and you know how there's like a story mode where, I think it's called World Tour or something like that. And for the first parts, for like the first entire round or first level, first chapter, they actually force you to use modern controls and they force you to use Luke's moveset. And I was just like, why can't they just let me choose whatever character I want and I want to choose classic controls? So I was actually very whiny about that. But after that first chapter, it was fine. I think they just wanted to showcase what modern controls are like. Actually, have you gotten a lot into the World Tour, the first player campaign? I know a lot of people like it, but I feel like if I'm playing a Street Fighter game, I'm probably just gonna stick to the main 1v1. To each their own, I guess. Wow, this entire time I've only gotten 2 coins. This is ridiculous. Okay, there it goes. I've only done online. Well, certainly one of the better ways to go. I think my favorite's either online. That's what I'm mainly doing these days. But I am also just a fan of the in-game lore stuff. That's so I play through arcade every once in a while. Even though obviously playing the computer is actually a lot easier. These rocks. Of course it can reach me on. And aren't those the same rocks that you encounter when you're fighting Claw Grip? Now that I recall. Claw Grip, the crab enemy. Maybe I can kick one of these guys. Oh, of course it's the fast one. Fast one. It's no good fighting the fast one. Okay, and that's the game we saw before. This is the stairway to the location we are trying to get to. Really, resources up here are actually not very good. What I haven't looked up or know how to do yet is do the golden attacks on command. Do you know how to do that? I think you mean when you do a special move and you do both punch and kick, which consumes a drive point. I think that's what you mean. So you do your special move, but in addition to that, it has extra power and it consumes a drive gauge point. Oh, come on. I need a fairy here or something. Yeah, that's it. To be perfectly honest with you, I only remember that I can do that every once in a while. It's very silly. I feel like I spend a lot of matches just with a full drive gauge, only ever using the drive attack, the main drive attack, drive crush, or whatever it's called, and I forget to use that golden attack that you're talking about. I think it has a different name. This is Zeldavania. Question of the day: do these goggles make me sexy? I think you and I both know that the answer is yes. And welcome to the stream, Zeldavania. How are you doing this fine evening? This fine Thursday evening, or well, no, Wednesday evening or Thursday, wherever you might be. Buy medicine before you go. Now that's pushy. Okay, so while that is good, we are at half heart. We're doing a half-hearted run. Maybe if I teleport for a bit. And still enjoying a Munich lager from Paulaner. And for the last minute I was trying to hold back a cough. Do you hate it when you don't want to cough but then it's still coming no matter what? So annoying. Still no cigar. Okay, maybe I can find a fairy fountain from here. Nice to revisit the old haunts when enemies used to be far more manageable. And yet they still crashed into you the entire time. Let's see. I learned a very important life lesson this past week and want your thoughts. I'll make it as short as I can. Sure, let me know. I'd certainly be glad to weigh in on a life lesson. Though one could argue one learns a life lesson every day that they make past. The roar of the ocean. And we are still trying to... Okay, here we go. Well, that's still not great, but I'll take it. You were in 9 previously. I was in 9 previously, and I bolted the heck out so that I could get some medicine. You gotta have medicine, you know. Alright. Let's try and see how close we can get there without teleporting, but I feel like I'll give up at some point. Now, Zeldavania, I believe we established last time that you are a fan of Zelda. Are you playing Tears of the Kingdom? I feel like that's what everyone's playing these days. Wasn't there like a hidden cave in this little waterfall thing? Let's see. Yeah, there was. I don't think so. That sounds sketchy. I wish that if I held my shield up, that was sufficient to block the rocks. But of course, no such luck. Okay, let's go back to level 9. Fortunately, it's not too crazy over here. Except, of course, everywhere else. Alright. Not perfect, but I'll take it. Let's see. Basically taking control of yourself as if you would with a woman. Have that last word and de-stress yourself from all the things holding you back. In your mind. Well, self-control is actually very important. But of course, attaining the ability to have self-control or finding self-control in a moment can in itself be difficult. Zeldavania says, I've only played this one and kinda Zelda too. Really? Well, do you... So I'm assuming that you like this original Zelda. What do you think about Zelda 2? I've only played it briefly and it was not my cup of tea. Let's see, I wrote something for myself that sounds crude, but I'll keep that to myself because it's a technique that I just read it again right now and I was like, cracked the code. Hey, well, I'm glad that you found a strategy for yourself in IGO. That sounds powerful. Words have power after all, and written words just as much. There have been times where I think when I've been in dark places, and I've certainly been able to find words that still ring true to today to help me, how do you say, take myself out of those mind spaces. Again, just very loosely trying to make a connection here. Okay, let's see what this map has to say about this. So like I said, my main goal right now is to get the red ring. I really think that that's going to help us out here. And if I'm not mistaken, I need to go back through... Okay. Let's see, yeah, I don't like Zelda 2 either. But on a different channel, we beat it using chat commands, so technically I beat it. I mean, you gotta write that victory, right? Zelda 2, one of the strangest Zeldas. It's kind of interesting that they had a magic system in that one. And like a lot of the things, a lot of the motions that Link had in that game actually made it to the 3D Zeldas. And even Smash Brothers with the sword planting and whatnot. These things don't stop, of course. But then again, what enemy in this game actually stops when you hit it, or whenever you stand in front of it? And I think that's my main gripe with this game. As much as I love and have fond memories of playing this game, it's kind of just the idea that no matter what enemy I encounter, even though I have much greater defense, I'm packing the big shield. No matter what, they'll just continue to go on their merry way. Like no collision physics. Okay. Oh, of course I did that. My shield's not in. I wonder what the... Is it that you have to be inside the like for a long time before it actually consumes you. Consumes your shield, that is. And that is why I don't want to get anywhere near it. If taking on a band of Wiz Rogues is kind of impossible with the big shield, without it you can imagine that it is whatever is under impossible. Let's see. And on top of that, self-control. Seeing now that all women I've been with have been life lessons as well, so if I don't get a woman right now because I'm a man of meaning, then no lessons to be learned yet. Don't force one when God's not ready. I would say that most interactions with people are lessons in themselves, right? And how to put this? What am I trying to say here? It is what you choose to get out of that interaction that continues to shape you and shape your future decisions, I think. And as long as you own those decisions, that helps you grow even more. At least that's how I feel about it. But I'm glad that's something that you see developed in yourself in Igo. And let's see. Yes, get out of the like right away. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's see. Where should we go next? Oh, if we go down, we'll find that compass, the ever useful compass. I have this feeling that maybe I don't actually need to beat these guys. Here we go. Ah, and a nice room where people know how to be friends with each other. If only I could equip more weapons at the same time, then I would have my boomerang equipped the entire time. Here's wondering if I'll actually make it to Ganon this evening. Oh no. There's no real weapon that's gonna help me here. Oh, lovely. Okay, and there we go. Have the first treasure of the dungeon over here. Let's go back up. And now we're going for the map en route to get the red ring. Not the red ring of death, folks. Oh, we're only at 4 hearts already. Okay, so I think... Let's see. I think I just lost myself. Okay, no. I think if I can go down here. Yeah. The suspense is killing me. The greatest treasure of them all. Friendship. I don't need to go in that direction. I think we can just bomb this wall. Yes, yes. You know, whenever I start saying yes after anything that I say, I start feeling like Gordon Ramsay. I don't think that's something I want to emulate. Ah, and Patra. No, of course not. It would be too easy if any of the other weapons actually did anything. Okay, and that is why we have our trusty medicine. It's always good to drink up. Okay. So not that this is gonna help us, but... Ah, wonderful. It's kind of pitiful once you actually destroy all of its pieces. And there's our map, which we have been looking for. W5, as they say, which was what we wanted. Yeah, and as you can imagine from all the bombable walls here, it was very difficult to simply rely on a compass and map. Okay, and see, that's why they put these blasted bubbles here, because they just want to shove you into the way of the likes. Wow. Wow, seriously? Freaking... Okay, there. Did that do it? So bad. Okay, good. Whew. Okay. Was that not the room? Oh, I think we're supposed to bomb upstairs. We could have probably just bombed on ahead. Let's see, drinking water mixed with magnesium powder. Cheers. Oh, here, well, cheers to you, and I go. Is this magnesium powder some sort of a energy drink? Is it a health drink? Is it something tasty? I'm actually unaware. Oh, jeez. What is this? What is this place? It's probably one of these rooms that where it doesn't actually open. Okay. And you know, it's just a little bit maddening that you have this entire assortment of weapons, and yet for these, some of the most obnoxious enemies, nothing else but the sword will actually work. Okay, that's most of them. Come on. I guess bombs probably work too, but they've actually not... They're actually very difficult to aim. And there's our price for an entire trouble here. Very likely that after this I'm just gonna step out and get another set of potions. So the red ring, the nice thing about it is, of course, that it gives you double the defense that you had before, essentially quadrupling your defense from the start of the game. Let's see. Blue whiz robes are the worst. Trying bombs a little. Yeah, and I was also thinking about doing that. It also works with the dark nuts, but again, it's the sort of thing that sometimes I just feel like I'm just dropping them everywhere and not really doing any damage. So I should probably just do that. It's also just the fact, and maybe this is just my Switch Pro controller, but I can't imagine that because it's on the second one that I've had that the same thing happens. The up on the D-pad is not very reliable. Like, it'll work 70% of the time, and then 30% of the time it'll just like not register my command, which is very frustrating. Let's see, it's for muscles, bone, and heart health. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm actually very bad at my health supplement, health nutrition compounds. Back in the day when I was a strapping young man, I used to drink protein powders, and I thought that those were great, and I was doing heavy weightlifting. I don't know how much they helped me, but I believe that they helped me, and you know, they were also very tasty. But what you're drinking sounds a lot more hardcore and direct. Let's see, easy. All right, let's get out of here. Let's make like a tree and get out of here. I don't honestly remember where I came from, but I feel like I'm gonna hit those stairways again very soon. Yeah, I remember this place. Oh, hey, look at that. That never happens. Okay, but this was the passage. And let's get our trusty blue rod. You know, I think I was reading about the localization of this game probably years ago, and I learned that apparently the book of Medora, which transforms your beam into this fire spell, in the Japanese game was actually the Bible. I thought that was kind of funny. Why would there be a Bible? Why would there be like a religious element like that in this fantasy game? But I guess it was supposed to be more of a medieval game. Fire on these bats. Okay, so I think we just go down. And let's get out of this heck hole. Beautiful. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to step out, get some more medicine, and go after the silver arrow. I think that makes the most sense. Hopefully the hunt is a little bit easier. Let's see, I noticed this week as well, as cool and composed as I can be, I'm still stressed from things I'm not even aware of. Is it genetic? As a thoughtful person, I can't fathom what it could be. Sound? I don't know. I think it's, you know, sometimes it's difficult to channel your confidence, I find. I can be the most confident person stepping out of my house early in the morning. And sometimes a very small thing that I hadn't prepared for, that I didn't think about, will just set me off in a downward spiral. And sometimes it's things that I simply wasn't ready to engage with. And I don't think that's, you know, I don't think that's a problem. I think that happens to everyone to a certain degree. I don't think that you'll ever be, you know, cool and collected under every situation. I'm sure you can be so under most situations, and that's a personality trait. But I don't know that everyone is like that 100% of the time, right? You can always be shaken off your rocker by situations that you didn't prepare for or didn't expect. And of course, let me not kick a dead horse by suggesting that the more you experience, the more you live through life, there's a good chance that the less those moments will emerge. Kicking a dead horse, that's awful. Gosh, something, will ya? You're right. Well, like I said, I'm glad that you find some sense in the ravings of a madman. You know, these Lionels were always really tough, but when I played Breath of the Wild, they were gigantic and far more difficult than anything these guys actually pose. Okay, what are we at? 30? We need like 68 or something like that. Okay. Ah, nice. It's a buzzer beater. Some bombs for our troubles. I think one of my main issues just trying to farm this area for rupees is kind of just the idea that a lot of the enemies here are not very... they're not very generous. We do not like your lack of generosity. And I think... I wonder what's the best way to like farm money in this game other than going into caves where monsters just give me money. Kind of interesting that with this particular ring, Link kind of looks more like Mario than anything else from Super Mario Bros. 1. But I guess sprites back then had only a limited amount of colors that they could use in a single sprite, so it kind of makes sense. Gotta get out of these falling rocks. These rolling stones. I might have a bit more luck down here. Beautiful. And what's in here? I forget. Okay. Man, I was worried you weren't gonna stream, leave me hanging and not comfy for the night. The other streamer's not doing for me. Actually, another observation I had during the weekend was interesting. Sad, but interesting, and it's about Twitch. Well, I'm sorry that you felt anxious over my lack of a stream this evening, and certainly appreciate the fact that you find this how to say comfort in watching this silly stream in iGo. I think one of the things that one of my friends told me, one of my friends who is a streamer, who is a far more successful streamer than myself, told me is that, you know what, Ails, they said, one thing that you have that I absolutely don't have is consistency, and you put in the time. And so while they stream whenever they're free, I kind of just do. I post my schedule and I just do it. Like I'm right now I'm locked for Wednesday and Thursday nights for the long haul. So unless something horrible happens at night, I think I'm good. And thank you for the tip, Zeldavania. That's actually what I read your message and I started moving in this direction because I knew there was Tektites here. And what observation is it that you made about Twitch in iGo? I feel like a lot of folks are complaining about Twitch these days, and a lot of folks are moving to, what is it, Kick. But of course Kick also has some troubled history or something like that. Drink some fine water here. Always stay hydrated, even when drinking alcohol, I always say. It also just resets your taste buds. Let's see, remember when I said I'm not a loser doing loser things, and how watching streams made me feel inadequate in some ways? Well, this astute observation made me feel like an outcast to the majority of the viewers. No for the observation. Okay. I am intrigued. Oh, lovely. Okay, so we're almost there, about 20 coins or so. I keep saying coins when I know they're rupees. It's kind of crazy how many hits I've taken without actually losing my hearts. I certainly love walking into my own fire. Okay, let's go back through the Tektite location. How many screens does it take for enemies to respawn? I know that there was a particular number, but I forget now. Again, this D-pad not the most reliable tool in my arsenal. Ratchet and clank up your arsenal. Okay, so we're up to 62. Just counting down the rupees makes me feel like I'm in some sort of charity stream. But no, it is no charity. It is misery. Oh, nice. I almost said, oh nice, Sunny D. Okay. Good old... Alright, let's get out of here. Let's go back to level 9. Actually, I think maybe taking one of these natural warps is better. Come on, dude. I might as well just take the ferry right now. Okay. Now let's try to make it to level 9 with minor issues. Oh, very smart. Come on, be born. And not this place. There we go. Okay, nice. And this place also gives you a medicine, but I don't think I need it right now. Alright. It's kind of funny, one of the things that I've learned from running a stream where I am constantly drinking is that the worst time to drink is just as I'm loading a new screen, no matter what the game is. Because without fail, every single time I will land myself in hot water. Wow. The game keeps giving me chances not to lose my sword beams, and I keep doing it. Guy, just kill the guy. Ah, that was awful. Alright, you know what? We're just getting it and going. Grab and go. Go-gurt. Alright, you know what? Let's create a suspend point here, since this is a kind of a rough a start. And look at that, it's my first suspend point for this run. Okay, so we've got the red ring, we've got the map, we've got the compass. Really the only major treasure left that we have to collect is the silver arrow, which we need to defeat Ganon. And let's see, going that direction. I think we actually need to... Okay, I actually need to go where I left off my previous suspend point. Still need to go through the warp. And by the warp, I mean, you know which warp I'm talking about. Come on. The warp, the... I guess this is more effective with these snakes. I think by this point in the game, one of the things that is no longer even a surprise is the fact that a lot of the empty rooms that don't show up on the map are actually rooms. And of course, the eyes of the skull had definitely had to be like locations that you visited. The Flan of Doom. Okay, and one last one. Okay, let's see. There's these pretty streamers, let's be real, they're average mostly, but beauty on the eye of the beholder, whatever. The streamer who I played Overwatch with on Xbox, who made it big on PC, averages 70 to 200 views. It was her birthday and they did a conglomerate video viewers in her honor, and the people who put their face on display was just wow. I was holding back so many roasts, but I told myself they didn't do nothing to me. Not yet, at least. Okay. Let's see what happens. And these people donate, entertain, etc. And I thought viewers could be people who are chill average guys, chads, nerds, etc. No, there is a big distinction. Like the attractive girls to the ugly guys is huge. No wonder there's a new Twitch girl streamer with no gaming experience prior. Each say there's a market for this. It is sad but true. You know, I think like you suggested, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Yes, that is true. Let me present this idea. What am I trying to say here? There might be a discrepancy in viewers that watch somebody with what you perceive to be good looks versus somebody that doesn't have good looks, and that might be a big difference. But I guess, are you trying to suggest that people with lesser appearances will generally become the viewers of those streamers that find themselves to be pretty? I guess is that your thesis? Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to do. And you know that might there's probably some truth to that. Sure, I don't know that I'm the greatest judge of looks when it comes to fellas. But that's something that I'm lacking, I guess. What is this room? Let's see, I'm confused by your wording. One more time, please. As far as my thesis. Well, I am also confused by my words, trust me. I guess what I was trying to distill the idea of, are you trying to suggest that fellas who are unappealing will crowd around streamers that are pretty, superficially speaking, of course. If you're a cute little puppy, you get a lot of views. That is true, and that is why I have my dog around here somewhere. Oh no, he's all the way over there. Because I certainly don't have those looks. Okay, so I'm all the way over here. I don't know that there's any point in... Oh, I see what I was supposed to do. Yes. Okay, so I understood. I understood your message. Well, let's let's say for a moment that you are right, and that is the trend. And again, I'm not trying to argue the point here. Let me play what they say, Devil's Advocate, starring Keanu Reeves and what's his name? Anyways, why? Maybe number one, what do you feel that is the case? And maybe number two, why did that call it to your attention? Like, what was it? What was it that set you off, that made you think about that? Oh man. Okay, so I think we need to hit this next warp. Yeah, go to the next room. Al Pacino. Yeah, I really like that movie actually. It also has, I think, Charlize Theron in one of her earlier roles. What is the thing that the devil says? I'm a fan of man. I am a fan of man. Let's see, because I thought Twitch was neutral grounds. No, it was Simplan 101. I mean, I don't doubt that there is some of that, right? Once again, I'm not the greatest judge of appearances, hence why I looked at this. But there is just kind of the idea that, at least one of the things that I sometimes think about is, you know what, folks that may not necessarily have a significant other, and I'm making a huge assumption here, but this is kind of how I think about it sometimes. Folks who have no significant other, be it gals or fellas, generally tend to devote themselves to a media that suggests or is evocative of something that they are seeking for in life, something that they are missing. And so maybe that's why you are maybe that's why that pattern emerges, right? Maybe there is some truth to that. And let me speak about myself here. I know that you probably wrote a few things that probably turned my argument upside down, and I'm not looking at it just yet. But there is a sort of thing that, you know what, if there was two streamers, they are streaming the same exact thing, and they're equally knowledgeable in the things that they're talking about, and they seem to know the game exactly well. One of them just happens to look nicer than the other person. I might probably go with the one that looks better. Not that I've ever made that perfect comparison. It's that sort of thing where I am a, what do you call it, a visual animal, as they say. Okay, what did you say? Your unrecognized talent, Ailes. You got the looks, we just need a scout or a big raid. Alright, I don't know about that. See, now who's the one that's intoxicated? Okay, so I think we need to go all the way right. And by that I mean left. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ah, it's one of these guys again. they every time they have like a slightly different pattern. It's quite. Of course, I'm just gonna stand there. You're absolutely right. Maybe I'm a little bit right. I mean, like I said, I don't completely disagree with your point. I also just think that a lot of fellas don't know how to groom themselves, period. I think that's just something that's not necessarily taught to us very early on. So, I mean, on the average, I think that guys don't look as good as women in general. Maybe that's just a thing. Maybe that's a bad bias. I don't know. I do find that in my what is it? In my older age, I tend to be more attentive towards the way that I look. And again, this is not exemplified by what I'm wearing right now, but it is literally something that only came to mind in the past few years. I was also just a bigger fellow, maybe a little bit happier, but definitely a bigger fellow. Now imagine that. Where am I? Okay, so we're going to continue upstairs on our way to the Silver Arrow. And I say upstairs, but actually I mean north. Magnetic north, that is. I should probably... Nice, I forgot that this actually lit up rooms. Light of the night. And I think we're in the room right next to Ganon. That's why you hear that heavy wheezing. Ah, of course. Why would they block the... No escape, seriously. What? Come on, dude. What is this? And of course, that's it for Big Shield Link. This is the first time that I lost my Big Shield, mind you. Can I actually get it back? Can I? No, of course not. Why am I even here? I could just keep moving. Okay. Looks like I've been here before. Wait, I actually didn't need to go that way. Did I just... Doesn't seem like I can go down anymore. Alright, let's see. What about the people who get high views off of pity and are not eye candy? Or maybe the nerds can relate to the other nerd in some way. I asked my dad why that happens as opposed to the pretty ones and knowledge ones on top of it not getting those views. Instead, he said maybe because the viewers want to feel better about their situation, and seeing someone be a fool or not being eye candy or seem lesser than them makes the viewer feel better about themselves. It blew my mind, people watching things for the wrong reasons sometimes. Well, I certainly don't disagree with that idea. I mean, there is the idea of people watching, what is it, reality shows, right? Where I feel people not only watch it for the spectacle, but also because of the fact that they know that these people are going to make incredibly silly decisions. And sometimes people watch that because they feel like, well, at least their life is not as crazy as theirs. But that's just an assumption on my part. Oh man. So I think I can actually do a U-turn if I keep going up. Let's see. Girls care more about your gameplay than your looks. It's like the knight in shining armor fantasy. Once they see you get past World 8-4 in Mario, they're all over you like a baby on a blanket. That's true. You know what? It hasn't happened to me yet, but maybe that's because I haven't reached World 8-4. At least back when I was trying to court my current significant other, I think the name of the game was Guitar Hero, and she was always better at me at the guitar, so there's that. Maybe, and maybe I just got lucky. Now it is general knowledge, I believe, that and once again, in general, women are less physically oriented. At least I thought that was that part of proven psychology. So you might have something there, Zeldavania. But we got a bunch of philosophers here tonight. I like this. Maybe that's what I should put as a hashtag in these streams. Just relationships and philosophy. Now that would be a change of pace. Okay, so we can't actually. Okay. Maybe if we keep going one more door down. No, actually, one more door down is actually where Zelda is. Okay, maybe I need to go right and then keep going down. No, of course not. That was absolutely wrong. Okay, I'm a bit of a loss here, folks. If I could just go back to the previous screen. Okay, so I think if I go up the room of gels... No, that's not gonna do anything for us. I really just missed the turn there, which would have led me to the silver arrows, and now I'm behind a shutter door. But how do I get back there? Alright, I think we're gonna have to do some backtracking here. And by backtracking, I mean going to completely new places. So satisfying to just burn them to a crisp. Excuse me, so let's see. Let's go to the right one. And that is not the bombs you are looking for. Fortunately, the bubbles don't really damage me here. Such a puny shield. A sad state of affair, folks. Let's see. They are girls, more susceptible to the person looking less. The ones that say I don't care about looks secretly think they do like to know what's have leverage on the looks department to not be too hurt by the end. But that's toxic. But as Pharrell said, one of the wiser things I've ever heard, you can do it too. I mean, you can choose to emphasize certain things over others. What is the thing that you fall for after all? Alright, so this is the warp that we were looking for to go back all the way back to the beginning so we can actually make that turn this time. So much backtracking here. The Legend of Backtrack. Okay, so back towards this area here. That leads us there. God, this thing is a maze, almost by design. Oh, hi, I was actually supposed to keep following the route there. I was doing good, and then I decided to take the location. Are you using a guide? I'm using a map that I found online, which is why I keep looking to the side. It's not like I'm contemplating my life. I'm just looking at a map on my other screen. But really, you can only do so much with a map that just shows you where the warps go. Yeah, so we keep going right and to the top. What time do we have? I feel like it's we might have reached at least the halfway point here. Go to the next room. Okay, so we're at the 1 o'clock mark. To those that we lost along the way. Oh, jeez. Why do you hurt me? And of course I can't actually move this thing without killing all of these fellows. Taking them out. Ooh, nice. That should happen more often. My question of the night, is there an underlining message or just answer? However, I would say interpret as you wish. The only reason why I posted that was because I felt like I was going to be lost in level 9. And lo and behold, I am lost. But if you can find a deeper meaning to the question, or something that resonates with you in that idea, feel free to elaborate. Okay, it's so nice to come into a room where the enemies are slow and they're just like waiting for you to destroy them. Okay, so we are here once again. We're gonna try to go for that silver arrow once more. Okay, so now we go up. What's the point? What is the point? Hopefully I have enough coins to buy a big shield. I definitely want to grab it before I reach Ganon. I think Ganon throws fireballs. I think Ganon does everything actually. Okay, so we can go in that direction, and it should set us on the path to victory. Nice. Okay, one more enemy. Actually don't need to kill this guy. But of course. Okay, so I think we just need to keep going up, if I'm not mistaken. Wait a second. Wait a second. Life is full of pain. Clearly the room we are looking for is north, but there's no way to physically reach it without a warp. It's gonna be a long night. Let's see. The first thing that came to mind was playing Spider-Man 2000 on the PS1 facing Mysterio. He had his different form where he turns big, and I was like, oh, how the F do I beat this guy? He seems to mess me up in a couple of hits. I had to call my older cousin. He didn't beat the boss for me. Actually taught me, oh good, to push forward and not be afraid. The more confident I got, the sooner I beat him as long as I hit his weak points. Lo and behold, that game lesson stayed with me forever. That's good. I'm glad that rather than beat the challenge for you, your cousin decided to show you how to do it and to have more confidence. I feel like while a lot of games, well, I would just say the majority of games are overcome by skill, I do feel like a lot of it is just the confidence to play and the confidence to take on challenges that you are not comfortable with. As one of the great poets of our time once said, if you don't bleed, you don't grow. Okay, so we're gonna keep going at this. That's probably one of the reasons why I fare so poorly in fighting games. It is still the sort of thing where I'm fighting and I think I'm gonna win and all this good stuff, and then all of a sudden just like that streak of lack of confidence just hits me, just like insecurity, and then everything just starts falling apart, and it's just like gotta get out of my head sort of thing. Alright, so we're going to go down here. And we do need to take this warp. And generally we have better luck against the bats with the boomerang, simply because it can do a diagonal. Okay, so this is where we need to be, and we're going to bomb north. Oh, just get past it. Woe is me. What? Oh, right, my shield doesn't actually stop them anymore. What was the point of that? Okay. Okay, dudes. Bats. Of course, it's gotta be bats. Maybe I need to invest into a Switch controller that has a more reliable D-pad. Simply because I'm going to play retro games for a very long time. Okay, so we got the silver arrow. Let's see, will you look at that? Free subscriptions from The Sims while watching your stream. I like Twitch for those free emotes. I do like the free emotes. Sometimes I feel like I've got a bunch of them from a bunch of different streamers that I've randomly subscribed to in the past. Probably just using like free subscriptions and whatever. But I wish there was an easier way to like look for the ones that I really like and favorited. Oh no, of course. Is there any way to go back here? Really, the only way is to take the same warp that I took before. Whoa. You know, actually, if I die here, I'll go back to the main entrance. And I won't use my potion. What a devilish plan, Ails. Sometimes you gotta know when to hold them, and sometimes you gotta know when to fold them. But yes, if I am correct, I should have my 2 potions, I should have my silver arrows. Huzzah. Alright, I think we're gonna take a break right here, folks. Let me go back over here. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I've got to take a bio break, and I'll go ahead and choose something else to drink. Stay tuned if you want more Zelda, more philosophizing about life, more terrible controls at the original Legend of Zelda. So stay tuned, as they say. No, wait a second. And let's go with it. Okay, and welcome back to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Ale Wolf, otherwise known as Ales, Gentleman Streamer, Beer Goggles 21, and Mama Ales, Baby Boy. And welcome back to the stream, folks. We're currently playing the Retro Wrathscaler block of my weekly streams, and we're playing the Legend of Zelda, or as I like to call it, the Legend of Aleda. Very cheeky. We're in the middle of level 9, first quest, and we've gotten the map, the compass, the red ring, and the silver arrow. So really the only thing that's left to do is defeat Ganon. However, I did just lose my big shield in the process of trying to get those treasures, so I think I'm gonna go back out, get myself a big shield, and try again. It's been nerve-wracking to fight some of those Wizrobes. I hate them, and I hate the fact that they're constantly paired with bubbles and legs. And did I just use English? I think I did. Before we move back into the quest though, let's go ahead and talk about what's on tap tonight for our final drink of the evening. This is something from our friends at North Coast, and by our friends I mean that it is a unidirectional relationship. This is Old Rasputin, and as you can see, that's Rasputin from the Russian court. Now, Old Rasputin is a Russian imperial stout. What I mean, let's take that in pieces. A stout is an ale that generally brews dark, and so the types of ales that emerge from it once you actually boil it and ferment it are actually quite dark. And there's particular malts that do that: chocolate malts, crystal malts. There's a wide variety of them, and so the color that you get from them is rather opaque. And of course, that color is also suggestive of how thick they are. Stouts are actually some of the thicker beers out there, and they're quite tasty. Rather than showcasing their hops, flavors, and bitterness, they actually showcase their malts, which is actually quite nice. Old Rasputin is actually a little bit more bitter than most stouts I've drank. It is also very heavy in alcohol. Stouts, because of the amount of malts and sugars that they have, hide their alcohol very well. So before we actually taste this, let's go ahead and see what Untapped has to say in terms of Old Rasputin, which we've had at least 14 times. 9%, which is twice as much as we were having before, produced in the tradition of the 18th century English brewers who supplied the court of Russia's Catherine the Great. Old Rasputin seems to develop a cult following wherever it goes. It's a rich, intense brew with big complex flavors and a warming finish. So imagine that. You know what, I didn't even switch screens for that one. It doesn't even matter. Let's go ahead and pour this guy. And let's see, also I got invited to go into a pre-sale for Doja Cat concert, and I bought in and got myself a good seat. Hey, awesome, congratulations. When's that happening? And let me go ahead and open this. Like I said, it pours dark. In terms of looks, it looks like a very foamy Coca-Cola, if that makes any sense. Part of that is, of course, just the fact that this is a pour, in the sense that I probably should have slanted my glass a bit more before actually pouring it. So it's a very thick head. You can't actually see through this. It's quite opaque. In terms of a nose, it's actually got a sudsy smell, and that simply comes from the bubbles, of course. There's actually lots of malts there. Stouts tend to be very heavy on their sugars, as I suggested, and in terms of stouts, they definitely manifest themselves as more maple-like flavors. A lot of roasts, and a lot of stouts are known for their coffee roast flavors. So yeah, and of course those that are brewed with chocolate malts taste a little bit more chocolatey. You can have stouts of different varieties as well, of course. There's oatmeal stouts with used oatmeal rather than, in addition to the standard grains, and they have a very breakfasty type flavor. But let's go ahead and taste this one. Fang and ale here. So the first thing that comes to taste is actually the roast. It's actually more of a coffee-ish roast. There's no real bitterness except unless you sense that bitterness from the coffee flavor. So it's less of a bitter from a hop and more of a bitter of a coffee note. It's actually lighter than most stouts, though it's still pretty heavy. Maybe a 3 out of 5, maybe 2.5 even. Pretty sweet, despite the fact that it's got strong roast. It's actually very strong on the sugars. But it's more of a, again, a maple melted sugar sort of flavor to itself. Yeah, maybe a 2 out of 5 actually, now that I think about it. So it's actually light body in terms of stout. Some of that coffee nature does actually hide some of that alcohol, but when you start sipping on it, you actually do taste that alcoholic strength. Back in the day, I didn't care for Old Rasputin. It grew on me. Now it's a very strong finisher. So if you see it out in the wild, please enjoy it. And with that, let me go ahead and update my ticker. Where is this thing? No, it seems to me that I didn't really update my ticker right properly the last time. Okay. Okay, and there it goes. And in terms of a rating, I think I saw a 3.25 is good. Tonight, it's worthy of a 3.5. And there goes my number 15. Let's see. By the way, I just came back from the stream that I got gifted a sub. Apparently 2 people are blessing Fall Guys streamers right now. The person I followed was given 80 subs. Wow. And the other streamer she's playing with got 90. That is wild. That is quite the generosity going around. Yeah, vanilla Coke, that's probably what it looks like the most. That stuff is good with a Five Guys burger or a dog. You know what? Thank you for saying that. Here's me going on a burger rant, because that's exactly what we need in the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. Every time I talk about burgers around here, everyone is all about that In-N-Out and In-N-Out this and In-N-Out that. And don't get me wrong, they're fine people. Their burgers are okay. Five Guys though, that's the place where I'm spending my money. End of rant. Okay, also I was seeing this tweet how this new generation of men being fathers is going to be a whole lot better than the old generation of fathers. I wonder how that shapes life itself. Beautiful scenes, hopefully. The trauma some of the fathers had on the new gen won't let their children live that down. You know, I think that's interesting. Let me just suggest that my father wasn't very close to me in that touchy-feely sort of sense, and to this day he is not. He doesn't talk about emotions and things like that. He talks about hardships and how life used to be quite difficult, but he doesn't talk about, you know, things that he felt. But you know, I don't know that I'm going to be that way. I feel like if I had a child, I feel like I would like to share some of these thoughts with them. I think I wanna be able to do that. Let's jump back into the game over here while we're doing this. And voila. Okay, and we're back in the Legend of Zelda over here. I'm going to step out and get myself a new shield. But you know, I don't know that the topic was or the question or the premise was that heavy in itself. I feel like guys who are having kids these days are already looking more inwardly than previous generations, in the sense that people in newer generations have hobbies, have things, have their own desires. I feel like in older generations, like my parents, it was more about survival and providing for your family, and that didn't really allow room for you to discover yourself. And I think that that's beneficial for people who are having kids. these guys as far away from me as possible. Actually, maybe I should just find a fairy fountain before I do anything else, just because I'm playing with fire here. A good father is highly underrated, I believe. The backbone of a person, in my opinion. I mean, you gotta have good parents. That is your foundation, right? Unfortunately, I think that we've seen time and time again that people with poor parenting experiences owe a lot of their personal dysfunctions to the fact that they lack that experience. Almost there. I can feel that very well very soon. Ah, come on. Okay, we're gonna keep pressing this until we find that fairy fountain. Ah, this is close enough. Watch that Tektite destroy me. Nice. And I think this is level 3, so all we really need to do is go north. Huh, there was an opening here. Oh, come now. Oh, they still take my money. What a load of bull honky. That set us back. Let's see, to be fair, Ales, I fear deep down I won't give my child what my parents gave me. It's stupendous what they've given me as resources. I won't be a deadbeat. I feel all I have to give is my words though. I don't work, Ales, I just be living off my parents and I'm grateful. I feel like what my parents didn't do for me, I'll give my child, and that might be giving them independence at an early age, which I think may not be all that good. Well, you know, I don't know where you are in life necessarily, but I think one of the things that you have to ask yourself is, are you ready to provide that mentorship to somebody under your care, right? I don't know that you're ever going to have the experience where I am giving my child exactly what my parents failed to give me sort of thing, because it's never going to be like a one-for-one sort of thing where you are giving them exactly what you were lacking. You're going to be giving them something that you value, but at the same time you might be not be giving them something that you had that you are not able to provide, if that makes any sense. I always talk to people about the notion of how some of my closer peers complain about their parents and how they treated them. And you know, a lot of the times they're right and their parents were not great folks. But a lot of the times I'm just like, you know what? They were doing the best that they could with the things that they knew. It's sometimes it's not that easy to judge these things. So, you know, every generation will probably try to do their best to take the good and build on that. At least hopefully future generations anyways. What is this? Okay, I think in order to get a big shield I need about 60 rupees from the cheapest shop. Let's see, damn, that's true. If anything, there will always be room to complain about something. No, absolutely. No, nobody's ever going to be perfect, and nobody's going to be perfect at raising children, you know? I think that just the idea of going through with, what do you call it, raising a child, in and of itself is already such a challenging objective, and no matter how you slice it, no matter how many parenting books you read, you're always going to be trying to balance their life and your life. And it's a sort of thing where you're never going to be at 100%, so you're always going to be trying to do your best, which is never going to be 100%. But words hold so much power, like we agreed. No, I certainly don't disagree, and I'm not taking that back. It's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because you know, without naming anything specifics, I do have lots of one-on-one meetings with some of my colleagues at work, and you know, a lot of the times they come to me with their frustrations, and I talk to them, talk through the situations with them, and let them know that they were correct. But unfortunately, because of the system that we live under, sometimes it's best to let go of some of these frustrations, and kind of the idea of you know, their feelings are absolutely justified. And sometimes I feel like I'm saying the right things, but sometimes it is very evident to me that those words don't reach them. Maybe I just need to keep trying. A shield is gonna cost me 90, so let me go find those tektites again, I guess. Let's see. Because of providing money for my child is the biggest stressor when I think about it. I want to bring life with someone who can be a good mom. And I think it is a joint effort, right? While you might think that you have all the right life experiences to share, it is never going to be as complete as two people sharing their life intimately with somebody else that they are caring for. All that being said, I do think that, you know, as clinical as it might sound, financial resources do make things easier a lot of the time. I think my significant other put it pretty well, in the sense that, you know what, money doesn't buy happiness, but it certainly allows you to find that happiness. Of course, my significant other comes from a very different part of the world. That doesn't mean that I disagree. Okay, 55 coins. Gosh, I really want to reach Ganon today. I keep making that same mistake. Okay, 58. Nothing here, nothing to see. Literally, I keep knocking into things. keep thinking that my shield's gonna block that beam and it won't. Nice. Ah, catch my own fire. Do they sell shield here? And if so, are they cheap? No, they are not. I think the cheapest shield I'll find is at 90. Why must Mario have my same shirt? Good times. Hear me getting all the bombs I need. Come on, guy. Did I get the secret at the dead-end tree? Isn't that like a gambling thing somewhere around this part of the map? I think it's north of here, north and to the right. North and to the right, that doesn't actually make sense. Ah, here we go, more Tekatites. More Tachikomas. Voila. Do I want to hit? Sure, fire away. I just thought it was funny that this looked like dungeon number 1. Where am I here? Ah, hold on a second. Okay, the money allows, to be fair, you don't need a whole lot. Most of that happiness is perspective. Look at those people not knowing how to spend the money and they still haven't filled that void. It just gets deeper. But that depends on you. I mean that's certainly a fair perspective in IGO, and I don't disagree. I do think that, of course, if money doesn't necessarily guarantee happiness, and you can do a lot with very little. Where was I going with this? I think in my age I have found that the true currency, because you know I'm not rich by any sense, but I'm also lacking in day-to-day satisfaction to a certain degree, and I find that the currency that I really lack is time. I feel like if I had all the current resources I have with all my current interests, if I had just a bit more time to exact them, I would be so much happier. Go just right of the tree and walk straight up. Okay. Let me try and clear this area first though. This is very frustrating. Come on. I hate that these things only perish when they stop moving. Why is that an ability? Come on. Okay, so somewhere around here, right? Okay. What is this? Oh, nice. Thank you very much for the tip, Zeldavania. I guess I have completely missed that up until now. Why does it look like a dungeon? That's wild. My friend would say most people don't invest in their emotional bank account. I think that's probably true. But I think it's getting better. I think people are learning that it's important to invest in the way that you feel, invest in your emotions, and invest in your personal growth. Okay, so now that we have the money, we are going to go to warp to dungeon 1 and buy the cheap shield. Or at least close by. This is close enough actually. Oh, come on. Okay. Now let's rock it. I think let's go closest to dungeon number 6. That is probably our best bet. This is dungeon number 2. Sorry, 3. Why did I go in here? And this is 2. This is 3 again. We're up to 4. I think this is 5. Maybe this is close enough. Nice. These rocks. Okay, so we cross this waterfall, and I think we should be right there. Alright, and back in Spectacle Rock. Nice, and I think we've got everything, so it's as good a time as any to create a suspend point as I go in. Create a suspend point right now, and let's go straight for Ganon. Of course, straight for Ganon means taking a bunch of warps, but you know what I mean. Let's see. Okay, so it's gonna be it's gonna be kind of a painful trip. Okay. Let's try to avoid as many fights as we can. And of course, the only reason why we're defeating these things is because these secret passages don't actually open up unless we kill the thing. Kill everyone in the room. Man, there's a streamer who I might have ticked off a little, but acts like she made Bollywood, not even Hollywood. And then there's streamers who welcome me and recognize my comments who have 80+ views. Super that girl, but I digress with sounding like a hypocrite at myself at times. I mean, it sounds like you're just reading the situation, right? You're describing things from your perspective, which is generally the only thing you can do most times. I guess what I'm saying is the audacity, but I understand people have a way of doing things and preferences. I mean, I'm not going to suggest that making it to Bollywood is a lesser accomplishment. I don't think that you are making a metaphor here. I certainly wish I could make it to Bollywood, to be honest with you. That would be a fun situation. Here's something that worth thinking about. I have a lot of let's say I have a few friends who have very strong opinions of this, very positive opinions of themselves, and I think that that's wonderful. I feel like a lot of times they ride their these particular positive traits very highly, and they talk about it a lot. And I don't disagree that they should be celebrated. I think that they have found who they are, and we should celebrate their accomplishments. And they do so very naturally. I don't find any malice in the things that they are saying. But sometimes it's just a little bit like, okay, I think we've heard this song and dance before, sort of thing. And I don't know that there's anybody's at fault here, really. It's more about just different expectations from an interaction. Let's see. Something like that. Something like that. Okay, so here, I think we go all the way to the right. Skip battle. Go north. I hear that though. Yeah, like, you know, if I were to like talk about myself, if I were to like say something like, oh yeah, I'm really good at listening to people. Let's hypothetically say that I believe that I'm good at listening to people, right? If I were to mention that frequently, it would be true. It should be something that is celebrated. But would you really want to hear about it all that much? I don't know. But maybe that's just me. All right, let's see. So we go down this chute, and that should warp us back to the jellies room. There we go. Nice. Maybe they consider you a close friend that you don't mind. Maybe they do. I think for the most part, most of my current batch of friends think me as disposable. But that's a topic for another time. You know what? It doesn't actually matter. I was simply trying to present an argument for the idea that you know what? Sometimes people like to talk about their accomplishments, and sometimes that's fine. I don't think that everybody's trying to lord it over other people. Sometimes it's just like, you know what? It's nice to have this sort of thing. I'm going to talk about it. It's not me necessarily, but I don't know that we should. I feel like at least sometimes we should give them the benefit of the doubt, even though sometimes it's a little bit jarring. Okay, so we go down that way, and we keep going north. Nice, just a room full of bats. Okay, don't need to worry about these guys. And that leads us to the arrows, but we don't need the arrows today. Oh my god, hahaha. Hey, you know, sometimes life is just like that. Here we are. Yes, here we are. Thank goodness for the wand of power. Come on, dude. Seriously. Alright, Ails, you gotta keep your cool. This is a cozy stream after all. Alright, so if we go left and north. Nice. We might get our sword beam back after all. Like Travis Scott said, which I'm kind half-seas with depending on context. Stop trying to be God. Yeah, I like that. I might have to use that. I hadn't heard it before. Let's move on up. Now we can't get away from this one. Let's switch to bombs. One more. Okay. You know, one of the things that I'm reminded of whenever I play this game, or whenever I think about this game. Wait a second, so we're all the way north of here. I think we need to go to the left, based on this chart. Nice. And this is the warp that we're supposed to take, I think. A much nicer place. So as I was saying, one of the things that I think about this game is the fact that this game doesn't actually have the Master Sword. It has the highest level sword is the Magical Sword, which I'm currently wielding, which doesn't appear anywhere else in Zelda lore as far as I know. And it is only otherwise featured in the game Soul Calibur 2, the GameCube exclusive version that includes Link has a magical sword. And I think the specific ability for that sword is that it heals you over time. I forget exactly what it does, but it definitely doesn't look like the Master Sword. It looks a bit more pompous. Okay, so we go to that. I hope you brought medicine or a bottle of lager. Well, I have one of those things. Maybe not a bottle, but enough for what ails you. Oh, come on. It's always so much more difficult when there's only one remaining. Nice. Okay, so I think this is it. I think let's switch to the silver arrows. Wow, very apt emoji, Zeldavania. And let's create a suspend point right here because we're probably going to be going back to it a number of times. And just in time because it is my Cinderella time. Let's see how quickly we can do this. I always just wonder what kind of pose Ganon is. It looks like he's kind of like crouching and like putting his hand on his face so as to like cover himself. But I've never gotten like a... Oh, come on! I forget that I'm supposed to keep stabbing. Voila! Aelwolf Classic. And of course the final barrier. The fire that separates us. That was the main boss of the game, and I go, imagine that. Thanks, Link. You're the hero of Hyrule. And this is, I believe, the Triforce of Wisdom and Courage. No, I think it's Power. I think it's only in the third game that the third Triforce gets introduced. The end. And now we get to just relax through the credits. Wow, that's wild. It actually took me 4 sessions to actually beat the first quest. I can't imagine that the second quest is going to be just as easy, but I guess we'll have to find out. Next week I'm actually switching to a different game and I'll go back to this in another 4 weeks. But I think we did good. I think that was nice. 1986, that's ridiculous. What is it, like 50 years ago? Maybe a little less. And Ails. Okay, so we have the sword, which means we can start again. Silver arrow, like the Master Ball, one-hit KO. Yeah, sort of like that. I think maybe it's like a one-hit thing. I think you're supposed to hit him like at least twice or something like that. Not too sure. But let's go ahead, start it, and leave it there. The start of the second quest. Let me go ahead and dampen this sound. And maybe have a few final words here. Let's go back to intermission. Well, it's not New Game Plus. It's actually... So, the second quest is a little bit more like... The overworld is exactly the same, but all of the dungeons are placed in different locations, and then all of the dungeons have different layouts. And it's a lot harder than the original quest. I think that's the main difference there. And again, it is something that I've never done before. But yeah, that was the first quest of The Legend of Zelda. Hopefully you enjoyed your time watching me constantly get pummeled by enemies that don't detect that I'm standing in their way. As I mentioned, I've never finished the second quest, so this will be a relatively new adventure for me. I will continue to use like maps and whatever. But yeah, it'll certainly be an achievement for me, and then I can kick it off the bucket list and I can move on with my life. But all that being said, next week I'll be changing games for the Retro Rathskeller. I like to quote-unquote keep it fresh. So every 4 sessions I'll change games and then I'll go back between 2 different games. We'll see what I come up with. I guess check my Twitter in order to see what it is I come up with. Let's see. What game replaces this one next week? I haven't decided yet. I'm considering Radical Dreamers because I haven't finished it. I know that it's not your favorite in Go, but I really just want to wrap that one up. The other one on the table is Donkey Kong Country 2. We'll see what I end up. No More Heroes 3. Well, see, that's not a retro game. That should go on the Thursday night corner. But yeah, if you like this sort of shenanigans, tune in tomorrow. I'll be playing Hades once again and getting my butt kicked. And then on Friday, I'll be playing Street Fighter 6 and also getting my butt kicked on that one. Oh, I get it. Wednesday is retro night. Yeah, that's kind of how I figured. I might change that at some point, but right now that feels right. It's like Wednesday is retro night, Thursday is modern night, and then Friday is like fighting games / playing with viewers. That's kind of the current scheme of things. I'll probably change it at some point. We'll see how it goes. But yes, if you enjoy the sort of shenanigans, if you enjoy my banter, and you shouldn't, tune in tomorrow. Like I said, I'll be playing Hades. Next week for the retro corner, I don't know what I'll be playing just yet, but stay tuned to my Twitch schedule for that. And with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for everyone on chat. Generally, thank you, and I go for your continued support and company. Thank you very much, Zeldavania, for all the tips and hints that you dropped here. I might not be playing a Zelda game next week, but I do hope you stick around. Certainly one of a solid voice in our chat. And if you hate this stream, that's okay too. You are great nonetheless. Stay thirsty, LPAC. We will see you again.